Today is a very special day for Sani Bello Foundation. We have decided to use our normal yearly medical outreach to shed light on a very serious issue that we have allowed for such a very long time to multiply, which is the issue of the Almajiri child or Almajiri. Typical. As you can see, this young boy, he's barely 5 years old, maybe 6. He cannot be more than 7 years old. This is the face. This is the face of Almajiri child. A human being just like you and I, that needs to be catered for, that needs love, that needs to be educated, that needs to be clothed, that needs to be given medical care. As you can see, you don't have to be a doctor to see that this child, somebody's child, is actually suffering from all sorts of skin diseases. This is the true face, This is the true face of the ambassador of the Almajiri child that we have in northern Nigeria. I do not have the statistics, but I know that we have them in millions. The problem is we have, I don't know why I can say that we use the word foolish, but we have somehow decided not to shed emphasis on this issue, because what we say is Almajiri as a collective name. But if each individual has a name, has some sort of an identity, then we know exactly that we have another human being, not just an Almajiri. When we put an identity to the face, then we make those poor children more human. Because I think most of us in the world, in northern Nigeria or in parts of the country, we don't look at them as human beings. We just look at them as Almajiri because we don't know their names. As part of the Sani Bello Foundation, and this is an initiative that we decided to incorporate this year, is to capture every single Almajiri child at least within Kwantagora, and then hopefully with time this will be incorporated in almost every single major city around northern Nigeria. We have to start somewhere. Today we want to carry out some sort of a medical screening test for about 100 of Almajiri that we have within Kwantagora from various Islamic schools. Hopefully by the time we do this as a pilot project, we will do a much more vigorous exercise of capturing every single Almajiri within Kwantagora and beyond. We have to start from somewhere. The 100 students, the 100 children that we have will go through all sorts of tests: malaria, typhoid, blood group, all sorts of tests, so that we can actually give them medication. Some of them, a majority of them, obviously will just give the medication for skin diseases, for malaria and typhoid, but some of them probably need to go for some sort of a surgery, which luckily we have in collaboration with a team of about 20 doctors from Kaduna, from another foundation, the Graceland Foundation. We will operate on some of them that need to be operated on. But as you can see, most of the problems that they have here is mainly to do with diseases and maybe the odd malaria or typhoid, which we are hopefully trying to do that. Before the medical screening exercise, we are trying to also give, or rather capture their biodata. The biodata, that would be obviously the picture, name, the name of their parents, obviously their grandparents' names from both sides, their uncles and aunties from both sides, their local government, their state of origin, date of birth if possible, or some sort of an estimate, and then give them some sort of an ID card. It is going to be pretty much under the Sani Bello Foundation for now, but in time this data that we are going to use, we will share with many other organizations that are actually interested in doing their best to fight this crisis that is actually upon us. So each child here today will take part their biodata. And at the same time, we will hopefully issue an ID card for each and every single child, so that each and every single child will have a name to make him more human, so that perhaps we can actually soften the kind heart, so that people can actually help in every single way. This is not a problem, this is not one person's problem. This is a problem that is a problem from western parts of the country, the eastern parts of the country, from the northern parts of the country, all the way to the southern parts of the country, and even beyond, all the way to Niger. We must find a way to capture this. We must find a way to do something that we haven't done in the past. The mistakes we have done in the past of not doing this has to be corrected, and we have to do it at lightning speed. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy exercise, but I think the difficulty of anything in life really is starting. Once you start something, that is the most difficult part of it. In time, we will succeed with the support of people and our determination, and support by the community, by the teachers from the Islamia schools, by the government. We will hopefully make some sort of an impact. We need to get data so that we know exactly what is upon us. If we do not get the data, if we do not start now, if we do not put emphasis on this problem, it will consume us. I am trying so hard not to link this sad issue to any of the crises that we have in northern Nigeria, but this is a ticking time bomb. A child that grows up with no love, a child that grows up with no care, no education whatsoever, is going to grow up as a very angry child. An angry child, once he has the hatred from a young age, believe you me or believe you me not, this hatred, because it's going to be us versus them, he will end up having no human feelings whatsoever. In as much as we perhaps do not bother to look at the faces and to give a name and not just to call them Almajiri, in as much as we don't do that, by the time this child grows up, he also doesn't look at us or us, the fortunate ones that are not in the system. He will just look at us just any number, any name, any face, and there will be no love between what we call it. We need to make this love a reciprocal thing. We must shower these children with love, so that these children, the love that we have for them, is going to be actually a reciprocal kind of thing. Now, this is an issue that is a new issue. All my life, I've always known that Almajiri child, there are always male children. But then a new trend has started. Now we're beginning to get young girls from God knows where that have been incorporated into this system. Ungodly, if I may use the word, because this has nothing to do with Islam. People are using religion, people are using the name of God and His good prophet to say that this is actually acceptable. This is not an acceptable thing. I have no idea where this child is from, but as you can clearly see, she is not more than 7 years old. They're going to go to Naam? Now, this young girl of barely 7 years old comes from Mashegu, and Mashegu is perhaps a 30-45 minutes drive away from Pantagora city itself, Pantagora town rather. So this is a new trend, and we are trying as much as possible to emphasize on this issue. This shows that it's actually expanding to something that we cannot control. We must do something about this. This is a new trend. This is something that we of course heard of 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Now, who is going to say the safety of this young girl? Because let's be realistic. In as much as these young boys are vulnerable, the young girls are extremely vulnerable. Extremely vulnerable to the society we live in. We don't live in a perfect society. We don't live in a society whereby things are perfect. There are good people. Majority of the society are good. But let's not forget that out of 100, at least maybe 1%, maybe 0.1%, it just takes one person to actually abuse any of these vulnerable young girls and young boys. So this is something that we all have to sit down and fight, join hands and abolish this problem. The sooner we do this, the better. The sooner we realize that this is a crisis, this is a time bomb upon all of us. It is not a problem whereby you are immune to it. This is not a problem, it's not a Muslim problem, it's not a Hausa problem, it's not a northern problem. This is a humanity crisis, this is a crisis. This is something that every single human being with a heart, every single human being with a heart and the love of God and the love of humanity should put in their best to perhaps try as much as possible to bring this illegal form of slavery to an end. People can still be educated in the Islamic way and still be given some sort of an education in the Western kind of education. We should try as much as possible to incorporate this because it's very important. If we don't do this, then the problem will keep on spreading and spreading till we cannot contain it. Now, there are so many things that each and every single one of us we can do to actually make a difference. Any one of us, all of us, somewhere in your heart, somewhere in your kind heart, you do have some sort of softness for humanity. It doesn't really matter whether the person is actually your relation, or the person comes from your tribe, or from your religion, or from whatever it is that man has decided to use to divide. Those ones that are actually that have the opportunity of traveling. Think of going to a hotel whereby you are given, every day you are given bars of soap, you are given shampoos, you are given combs, you are given all sorts of things, shower caps, maybe the odd sanitary pad, whatever the case might be, whatever it is whenever you travel out of country. Please, 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 do not leave them in the hotels. Take those things, as many as you can, bring them to Nigeria. Any child you see, just give that child a pack of maybe the shampoo and the soap, with the hope that that child is going to use it for general basic cleanliness. It wouldn't hurt you to go into any pharmacy to buy a few antifungal or antibacterial creams, and any child that you see having such problems, be kind enough to just give it to that child. It really isn't going to cost you that much. If you perhaps go into a bank, or if you go for a wedding, or whatever it is that you're given that you already have at home, you can always give it to those in need. Because obviously this is not going to be eradicated overnight. It is going to take time. So try as much as possible, whatever it is that you don't need at home, the soaps, detergent, anything, clothes, please, 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 it doesn't have to be in your town. Give it to the child in need.